Hi, I'm Brianna Hodges, faculty member for Future Ready Schools and Future Ready Coaches.
Hi, I'm Dana Castine, the Math Science Tech Director for the Florida Union Free School District and also Future Ready Instructional Coach Advisor.
Our mission as Future Ready Coaches is to inspire, amplify, and engage by leading innovative professional practice. Sometimes that means connecting with educators across the country to gather insight and practical tips. Other times it means diving into the challenges that we're facing. Other times it means celebrating the innovative and, well, not so innovative solutions. But always it means stepping forward when you hear, "Hey, coach."
We're kicking off this season with a few dynamic educational leaders who epitomize leading with heart. While they certainly need no introduction, please welcome Joe Sanfilippo, Superintendent of Fall Creek Schools in Wisconsin, Matt Miller, Superintendent of Lakota Schools in Ohio, and Tom Murray, Director of Innovation for Future Ready Schools.
At Lakota, what we did was when Governor DeWine essentially shut down the state, it was supposed to be for 3 weeks. That first week was actually our spring break week. So we got lucky in that regard, if you can get lucky in a situation like that. But what we did was we shifted. So the Friday before spring break started, which was supposed to be a regular school day, we decided we were going to do sort of a run through of what remote learning was going to look like, because we knew we were going to be in it for the long haul. So we kept our kids at home that Friday, had our teachers come into school when it was still safe to do so, and essentially build out lessons and collaborate with one another and build out some of the remote learning lessons, and then had them ping our students and do some sort of remote learning that day so that both sides of that equation knew what it would be like. And then the team decided that, you know what, we need feedback from that. So we surveyed our parents, we surveyed our kids, we surveyed our teachers, and we said, look, this was our first shot. What worked? What didn't? What do we need to do better when we do this full go? And so we took that data, and then essentially we didn't have a spring break. Our kids did, some of our teachers did, but we brought people together and collaborated and said, okay, we got to build this out. What does this look like? And so we were supposed to come back the following Monday after spring break. We made the decision to take Monday and Tuesday, have our kids have a little bit of an extended spring break, and do PD sessions for our teachers remotely on that Monday and Tuesday to build it out fully. Here's the survey results. Let's figure out what we can do, because we know we're in this for the long haul, and we need to collaborate. We need to talk. We need to share. This isn't about isolation. This is in that regard. This is about, let's figure it out, because we are truly in this together. So we did that. We started remote learning on a Wednesday, and I keep telling people it went really, really well. But day one of remote learning is going to look a little different than what day 20 hopefully is going to look down the road. So we're building it. We're trying to let people, take some grace and understand that education is really important, but health is first and foremost, and we're trying to build it in the background. So that's what we've been trying to do. In terms of the communication with our parents and with our families, I've been doing the videos also for staff. I mentioned how we did it for families, but for staff, they also get 2 or 3 videos from me during the week talking about what's coming up, what's on the horizon, and we're just taking it day by day.
Yeah, the thing that we needed to do, and we kind of built our system out very similar to Matt's, in that the difference for us is we had kids when we built out the platforms. We had kids do the activities while we were still in school, because we had a day before we took off. So we had them do the remote learning from their Chromebook or from their device on site, so we could help them kind of navigate that, and that was helpful in that regard. One of the things that we last couple of years, we've had a real struggle with snow days here, where we ended up having to figure out how many minutes of instruction that needed to happen throughout the course of the year. So coming into this year, one of the things that we really wanted to build out was a digital platform that we could utilize when kids weren't on site, to count those snow day minutes, honestly, and provide some remote learning for our students. So prior to any of this happening, our staff had flexible learning sites up for their area that were already created. So that really helped out, because we talked about what are they going to have access to? What are they going to be able to do? How much do we expect of students? And what's that going to look like, for what would end up being 3 days is what we built out. So when we came back, we had a spring break. It's very similar to Matt. we had a spring break, and then when we came back, we utilized those 3 days as the days to have people explore those sites and see what worked and what didn't work before we got into some of the other stuff that we were doing. Because in those 3 days, while they were exploring those sites, we could make sure that we made a contact with every student, every family, and that was the only non-negotiable. From a leadership standpoint, I gave them one non-negotiable over the course of the first 2 days of us coming back, and that was no student, no family goes without a contact from school. Nobody. So if you don't get through the first time or the second time or the third time, let's get back together and figure out if we got to drive out and have a conversation with these people. Nobody goes without a contact at all. So that really happened in the first couple days and allowed our kids at home to really kind of explore some of the spaces in terms of the flexible learning sites that we had. So I think the way you have to understand about our teachers, honestly, when it comes down to it, is like, you're paying these people, you trust these people, trust these people. If you're like, we can talk about trust all we want. We trust them to do their job. We trust them to do, well, now trust them to do their job. Like, that's what we're doing. So give them an opportunity and understand and make sure that they know you can't do this wrong if you connect with kids. You can do this wrong if you don't connect with kids and just push content. So let's make sure that at the heart of what we do, you come here and you teach just like you were going to teach before, in terms of making sure that the commitment to kids, the connection to kids, is the thing that you always start with.
Yeah, and I think that going back to touch on what you guys both said around the professional learning piece is really supporting, going to the heart of this question, it's really supporting teachers the best we can in this endeavor. I mean, let's face it, that teacher on your staff that struggles to make the double-sided copy with the staple, like, we've now asked them to do everything online virtually overnight. In my previous district experience, we created 9 years ago a complete virtual school program in grades K to 12 in our public school. And in running that, it took us 3 years to get to the point where I was really comfortable as the administrator overseeing that with the teaching and learning end, like where it really was. But that's different than here. This partially is that crisis management, emergency management. We're going to do the best that we can, but how do we support teachers along the way so that they can ultimately support kids? And going back to what Joe just said there, when I put my dad hat on and I think about it through their eyes, I would far rather that call from the teacher for 5 minutes, checking in and just seeing how my daughter's doing, as opposed to like the additional extra worksheet in that piece there as well. And so supporting teachers and then encouraging teachers to take time for themselves there as well. We've been supporting my son's kindergarten teacher and just helping some of her with some of the technical things and being like the test bed as parents, and we'll look at things for you to make sure on our end it looks right. And and she shared, and just not from a complaining end at all, but she said, yeah, I'm so proud of this. I spent all day Saturday and about half a Sunday recording all these lessons and creating it so the kids will have it for the week. And in saying that as well, it's so important that as leaders, we encourage teachers, don't forget to take care of yourself in this process. So it's helping them throughout, but it's not just now you got to work around the clock, because I will tell you, having run a virtual program, teaching 30 students in individual courses is far harder than teaching them all face to face. And so it's important that admin recognize that. It's important that we're not just saying we're going to take everything we've done and now we're just going to try and mirror it in Google Classroom or whatever it is, and to support them from a professional learning end. But also I think we need to model that and say to them, you've had an amazing week and we just finished our whatever second week. My challenge for you this weekend is to make sure you're investing in yourself and your family and you're not touching stuff for work, because we can't have them burning out in these last few weeks of school either.
Agreed. Amen.